5 most haunted tourist destinations in the world. Tourist destinations attract hordes of visitors because of their fascinating beauty, cultural or religious relevance, educational value, and promise of fun-filled exploration. Or they're just simply Instagram-worthy. But what if they offer some kind of adventure that borders on creepiness? These places do, and they dare you to take your adventurous spirit to a different level. Number 5. The Island of Dolls. Would visiting an island where Chucky and Annabelle may call it their real sanctuary spark your interest? Then head to the channels of Xochimilco in southern Mexico City and challenge your guts in the Island of Dolls. It became a tourist attraction in 2001 after its owner and caretaker, Julian Santana Barrera, died. In the 1950s, Barrera allegedly found a girl and her toy doll floating near the canals, but her cause of death remains mysterious. As a way of showing respect to the girl, Barrera hung the girl's doll to a tree. He was apparently haunted by the drowned girl's spirit, and in order to appease her, Barrera kept hanging dolls for 50 years, some with severed limbs or decapitated heads. Barrera, too, drowned on the same spot where he found the girl. The eerie island is now home to hundreds of terrifying dolls believed to be possessed by the girl. So stories about the dolls opening their eyes, whispering to each other, and moving their heads and arms make visitors curious, some of whom pray to the dolls. Number 4. Chateau de Chateaubriand. If a pre-Halloween holiday with a chance of a haunting experience suits your fancy, then make Chateau de Chateaubriand in France a priority destination. Just make sure you pack tons of courage and anti-anxiety pills, as an unexpected sighting of Francois de Foy's ghost may scare you endlessly. Francois was a talented woman, skilled in Latin, Italian, and poetry. These attributes caught the eye and captured the heart of King Francis I. But Francois was married to Jeanne de Laval, who helped the king settle the French annexation of Brittany, while Francois herself was the lady-in-waiting to the queen. Despite these, Francois became the first mistress of King Francis I. When Jean came back from fighting the Italian wars, he discovered his wife's adultery. On October 16, 1537, rumors have it that Jean assassinated Francois by locking her up in one of the chateau's rooms, then poisoned or bled her up. Since then, a ghost procession within the chateau led by Francois would occur every October 16th at midnight, and you bet this is the chateau's most fully booked date by adventure-seeking visitors. Number 3. Monte Cristo Homestead. The Monte Cristo Homestead, a historic property located in Junee, Australia, is advertised as Australia's most haunted house and is open for ghost tours. However, visitors should be warned. Enter at your own risk, because the haunting stories about it aren't for the faint-hearted. It was built in 1885 by Christopher and Elizabeth Crawley, whose family lived there until 1948. In 1963, Reg and Olive Ryan bought the mansion, restored it to its present state, and have lived there for more than 50 years now. From the moment they entered the homestead 56 years ago, they felt something was eerily different. The lights went off the first time they came inside the homestead. Olive would feel a hand on her shoulder while alone, and ghostly figures would appear in the photos taken in the homestead. The supernatural events could be traced from the violent deaths there of a stable boy, a pregnant maid, a chained caretaker, and a young girl pushed down the stairs. Definitely, Elizabeth's ghostly presence is omnipresent, for she was the homestead's original matriarch after all. Number 2. Forbidden City. A trip to Beijing, China can become more enriching and memorable by joining a tour of the 600-year-old Forbidden City, which attracts an estimated 16 million visitors annually. The former Chinese imperial palace, built from 1406 to 1420, was the seat of political power from the Ming to the Qing dynasties. In the Palace Museum, visitors can see the imperial family's hidden secrets, vast collections of artworks and artifacts that represent opulence. But better come early, because the imposing gates close at 5 p.m. for mysterious reasons. According to palace guards, ghostly occurrences mark the Forbidden City's nights. Such tales include a woman in white sobbing as she strolls around, ghost dogs running along the labyrinth of corridors, music heard from a flute playing at midnight, and a faceless woman clad in all black speaking to anyone she meets. Could these be the remnants of what transpired in the walled city for 5 centuries? Affirmatively so, for countless executions were done against the dynasty's enemies, traitors, slaves, and concubines. Creepily, their spirits live on. Number 1. The Hellfire Club. As a marketing ploy to entice tourists in Dublin, Ireland, one tour company has this blaring blurb: "The most terrifying experience in Dublin. The only company in Ireland who dares bring you to the Hellfire Club, special haunted history excursions." True enough, ghostly occurrences have been experienced by visitors in the Hellfire Club, also known as Montpelier Hill. Several people had their necklaces pulled by invisible hands, especially those with religious symbols like crucifixes. The ghost of a woman screaming in anguish has also been reported, as well as a huge black cat stalking the area. The ruined hunting lodge, perched atop the Dublin summit, was built in 1725 on the site of a prehistoric stone-made burial monument. The burial ground's destruction is said to have caused the curse and haunting of the lodge, especially when a group of elitists called the Hellfire Club used it in the 1930s. They allegedly performed devil worship, black masses, animal and human sacrifices, indiscriminate orgies, and murder by burning the victim. The spirits of the tortured have lingered, and no wonder. The place remains as hellish as ever. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe to our channel for your daily fix of awesome infotainment.